Please welcome to the stage Chief Executive Officer of TikTok, Shou Zi Chew.
Final question, just for all of us old folk who don't know any better. Who should we be following on TikTok?
Oh, please follow me. I only have 10,000 followers, so please follow me.
Today we are going to talk about TikTok CEO Shou Zi Chew, but before that, here's some context. 2 weeks ago, TikTok CEO went on the stand to testify before Congress. The US believes that China's government might have access to sensitive American customer data through TikTok, which has 150 million users. Calls for a TikTok ban were picking up steam. US regulators had already banned TikTok from government phones. There was a risk that regulators would ban TikTok completely in America. US lawmakers wanted to grill TikTok's CEO over TikTok's China links. They wanted to know whether TikTok's American user data was safe from China's government, who had golden shares in TikTok's parent company ByteDance. Obviously, you've seen the TikTok hearing. It didn't go well for US lawmakers. TikTok's CEO came out of that hearing looking pretty good.
Can you say with 100% certainty that TikTok does not use the phone's camera to determine whether the content that elicits a pupil dilation should be amplified by the algorithm? Can you tell me that?
We do not collect body, face, or voice data to identify our users. We do not.
You don't?
No. The only face data that you will get, that we collect, is when you use the filters to have, say, sunglasses on your face. We need to know where your eyes are.
Why do you need to know what the eyes are if you're not seeing if they're dilated?
And that data is stored on your local device and deleted after use if you use it for facial. Again, we do not collect body, face, or voice data to identify our users.
I find that hard to believe. It's our understanding that they're looking at the eyes. How do you determine what age they are?
Workers who work at ByteDance, they're Communist Party members, right?
I wouldn't know.
Well, I think, for example, the chief editor at ByteDance, Zhang Buping, is the Communist Party's secretary, correct?
He works on the Chinese business, not on TikTok.
Right. He works for ByteDance.
He works on the Chinese business.
Right. The parent company of TikTok.
The Chinese business is called Douyin.
Yeah, but it's all associated with ByteDance, right?
So ByteDance owns a number of businesses.
Right.
You
all report to ByteDance. Everybody's part of ByteDance. Okay. And do you know of any other employees that work for ByteDance that are part of the Chinese Communist Party?
Like I said, ByteDance owns Chinese businesses and they operate in China.
You don't know how many, but you acknowledge many must be card-carrying members of the CCP, right?
They're in the Chinese business, yes.
Yeah, I mean, the CCP holds what's called a golden share in ByteDance that allows the CCP to control one board seat in ByteDance. That's publicly
That's
reported.
not correct.
It's not correct. It's been publicly reported. They admitted to it.
You can on our website we have updated it so we can give people more transparent information on this. They have a share in a subsidiary that is only for the Chinese business. It has nothing to do with TikTok, and it's for the purposes of content licensing in China.
But what did you expect from the same Congress which grilled Facebook and Google years ago?
If I move from here and go over there and sit with my Democrat friends, which will make them real nervous, does Google track my movement? Does Google, through this phone, know that I have moved here and moved over to the left?
Not by default. There may be a Google service which you've opted in to use,
So Google knows that I am moving over there. It's not a trick question. You know, you make $100 million a year, you ought to be able to answer that question. Does Google know through this phone that I am moving over there and sitting next to Mr. Johnson? It's yes or no.
I won't be able to answer without looking at...
You can't say yes or no.
Without knowing more details.
Yes or no?
I genuinely don't know without knowing
I'm
what
shocked
services.
you don't know. I think Google obviously...
Well, if so, how do you sustain a business model in which users don't pay for your service?
Senator, we run ads.
TikTok CEO Shou Zi Chew is a new name to many Americans. That's to be expected. While he is the CEO of TikTok's US operations, he doesn't work in the US or China. TikTok CEO works at Singapore's TikTok headquarters and travels to the US occasionally for work. He bought a house in Singapore's Queen Astrid Park for 86 million Singapore dollars. That's $64 million American to make himself comfortable.
The vision that we have, that we want to deliver to our users, is we want to provide three things for them. We want to provide them with a canvas to create and express. We want them to have a window to discover. And we want them to have bridges to connect with each other.
So who is he? Who is this mysterious man? And how did he become TikTok CEO? Today we will explore the past of TikTok CEO and how he got to where he is today. Well, first off, Shou Zi is not from China and he's not American. He's from Singapore. Shou Zi was born and raised in Singapore. Chew was an extremely good student when he was younger. He went to a school in Singapore and through his good grades, he managed to get into UCL, a university in London. After going for his mandatory military service in Singapore, he went to UCL to get his bachelor's degree in economics. Shou Zi's first job out of college was a stint as an investment banker at Goldman Sachs. He joined one of their investment branches in London.
My first job out of college was to join Goldman Sachs, an investment bank in London. I didn't really have any investing experience then.
While Chew was at Goldman Sachs, he was introduced to DST, a very young investment firm that was just getting started. DST invested money in startups. He would go on to work there someday. However, that was still far off in the future. Zi Chew spent 2 years at Goldman Sachs before he decided he wanted to get a business degree. He struggled with the decision to put his investment career on hold while he pursued his studies. His desire for the latter won out in the end. Zi Chew delayed his career for some time to get his MBA at Harvard. The man was rewarded for going out of his comfort zone because he got to meet his wife at Harvard.
I'm glad that I did choose to go, despite my own uncertainties, as it was there that I met my wife.
Okay, for college, and then subsequently to here in the US for business school where I met my wife.
While Chew was at Harvard, he managed to parlay his status as a Harvard student to get a summer internship at Facebook before its IPO. After he graduated in 2010, he went to work at a company called DST Global as a China-focused partner. This was Yuri Milner's company. Yuri started DST in 2009, a year before Zi Chew's graduation. It was an unknown VC firm at the time.
I'm here with Yuri Milner, the CEO of DST. Yuri has become very well known over the last year in the United States after he invested in first Facebook and then Zynga, as well as some other startups.
Is this Yuri Milner's company?
Yes.
And so what did you do for him? You look for internet-related investments?
That's what I did.
VC firms invest primarily in startups, and among the startups DST invested in, they included Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Airbnb, Zynga, and Groupon. Startups that would go on to become giants in their industry and household names. DST Global would go on to become one of the largest, most influential VC firms in the world. Zi Chew was lucky, very lucky, to get in there in its early stages. While he was there, he looked for internet-related investments for DST. Shou Zi stayed there for 5 years. It was during those years that Zi Chew would meet and invest in TikTok and ByteDance's founders. After his time at DST was up, Shou Zi went to work at a Chinese company. This wasn't TikTok. It was a smartphone startup called Xiaomi.
是周秀芝，小米集团的 CFO， 大家内部呢都叫我秀。My name is Shou, and I'm the CFO of Xiaomi Corporation. A little bit cold though. This is actually the first time that Xiaomi is representing itself at the World Economic Forum.
Okay, can I ask you kind of an accounting question? You are the CFO.
Of course. Everyone, it's Shou here. Welcome to another episode of Shou's Top Picks. We are going to do something very special today. The Redmi Note series is the most popular phone series that Xiaomi has. Oh wow, the Redmi Note 10 Pro. We would want to give a Redmi Note 10 Pro to a lucky viewer as well. Please leave a comment on your favorite Redmi Note series phone, and we'll choose one lucky winner to give this phone away to.
He became the chief financial officer of Xiaomi and was eventually given the responsibility to run Xiaomi's overseas business as their president for Xiaomi's international operations. In 2021, Shou Zi was offered a role as TikTok CFO for its US operations. He used to lead some funding rounds for TikTok in his DST days, so there was a connection there.
I've stayed very close to the folks at ByteDance because of my early relationship with them.
Zi Chew was already posting on TikTok before he joined the company. He had a TikTok account which he used to sell products. I can't find his old TikTok account, so here's a clip of him talking about this mysterious TikTok account.
There's a little known fact about me, which is I used to be a creator. I actually had 185,000 followers on my account, and so I've had to go through that process of learning how to connect with my followers and using the product. And it was an amazing way. I found the product so amazing in terms of being
being able to communicate the messages I wanted to my followers. So I love the product. I've known the team for a long time. I think that the mission is something that I really truly believe in. So when the opportunity opened up, it was very organic for me to
You have 185,000 followers now?
I did.
You did. Now you've given them up, or what do you have now?
That account was used to sell products. So I have since transitioned into sort of a more consumer-based, a more sort of personal account.
Zi Chew had 2 TikTok accounts, the old one which I couldn't find and a new TikTok account which I did find called Showtime, which is a pun on his surname. Made in 2022, he shows more personal stuff on this newer TikTok account. He's shown himself enjoying the Super Bowl and NBA games. Zi Chew gladly took on the role as TikTok CFO, but he would get promoted very quickly. In 2021, the then CEO of TikTok, Kevin Mayer, stepped down from his position 3 months after he took on the job of CEO. At the time, US-China tensions were worsening. It is still worsening today. US regulators did not like how much power China's government had over TikTok's parent company, ByteDance. US leaders suspected TikTok could pose a national security threat because of its Chinese ownership. There were fears that Donald Trump might actually force ByteDance to sell its US operations. Trump actually signed an executive order to ban TikTok if ByteDance didn't sell the app's US operations within 45 days, effectively making Kevin Mayer's CEO role at TikTok obsolete. Kevin stepped down before he was fired from his CEO position at TikTok. Obviously, TikTok didn't shut down, it's still here. So TikTok had an empty seat and they needed a CEO to fill it. That's how Shou Zi went from CFO to the CEO of TikTok 2 months into the job in 2021. And that brings us 2 years later to today. He's gone through the congressional hearing and he's still working as TikTok CEO. That's all for today. We don't know whether the US government will shut down TikTok. That's still up in the air. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this one.